Hi, welcome back. My name is Jessica, and this is J. Gilly Tarot. You may book a personal reading with me at any time at jgilly.com. That's JGILLY.com. All right, so fascinating. I don't know how to change the colors on my mic. It just like randomly, when I turn it on, it chooses the color. So I'm like, huh, you know, let the universe do its thing, synchronicities. And it's interesting that today it's red. Um, so I sat down to meditate today and I instantly knew that we were going to talk about narcissists. And ironically, I mean, it's not ironic. This always happens with tarot. I pulled this was the first card, narcissist. Someone too full of themselves. So I wanted to give you like a breakdown of, I heard the question in my mind, am I entangled with a narcissist? And I knew this was like maybe a collective message that's going on with a collective consciousness right now, really struggling, a lot of the collective, they're very empathic. They are on the path of self-improvement always. And with that comes attracting narcissists that see you as a nice little energetic snack. And this often bright light will attract energy vampires, people that are unhealed and want to interrupt or distract themselves from their own healing, their own shadows, and their own accountability and project onto the empath, right? So the next cards I pulled were, if I can get it off the table, cycles, where there's a cyclical cycle always with narcissists. And it's usually like the honeymoon period or a state of love bombing. Now, this could be family relationships too, where they kind of kiss your behind, blow smoke up your ass, that kind of thing to win you back over and to make you think they've changed. But discernment is key here. And I wanted to share, take what resonates, leave the rest. I'm not a licensed professional, therapeutic wise or psychologically. But I've dealt with a lot of narcissists in my family, male family members, and recently just got out of a narcissistic relationship. And I got to say, you want to be a narcissist's worst nightmare. And how you do that is you quietly stand in your truth. You cut off the energetic cord that they siphon from, that they tug on when they need their own fix. It's almost like an addiction to your energy. And what I see in other people that have a narcissistic attachment outside of themselves, a codependency based out of fear, maybe fear of being alone, fear of feeling safe, fear of feeling protected. What it looks like are fish hooks hooked into the heart chakra. And also a common one is the solar plexus. I was going to say shoulder. Shoulders are usually considered power struggles with, family members and the divine masculine and divine feminine. So that also tracks as well. So it could be in the shoulder. I've never seen one personally, but the fish hooks can go anywhere, really. And so the one when it attaches to the solar plexus, it's usually someone that is the narcissist is usually internally very insecure, but overcompensates in confidence outwardly, but siphons your own bright light and willpower from the solar plexus. So oftentimes what I find is I'll feel a poking sensation right where the solar plexus is, right underneath like the heart kind of where the stomach meets the esophagus. And I'll feel like a poking sensation where I kind of feel uneasy in my stomach when I'm talking to someone, or when they want to kind of like think they need to put me in their in my place, and because they're feeling insecure, and I'm just being my authentic self, right? My bubbly authentic self. Um, and oftentimes, romantic partners, if they exhibit narcissistic behaviors, they will hook into your heart space. They will study you. They will see where your trauma is, and they'll use that against you. So I was like talking with my guides, and I was like, let's pull from the Messages of Love Oracle deck. And but my question was a bit of a spin. I said, what are some common, you know, defaults that a narcissist will go to? What are some signs? And what I got in the cards was fascinating. So I got understanding in reverse. It says, I see your side of the story. And I cannot agree more. There's absolutely no empathy. It's only you need to be considerate of me, my own trauma, and you need to allow me to slide. They feel entitled. They oftentimes spin a victim mentality, a victimhood type of role. Always, oh, feel sorry for me. I gotta say, there's nothing more unattractive about a man when they try to guilt you or try to make you feel sorry for them. It's just deplorable. So another thing that they use, they try to scapegoat you with is, I want to hear your voice. Can we talk? I miss you. We've all been there, right? They try to butter you up. Another one is hope. I haven't given up on us yet. So they will try and make you feel like you're giving up or you don't care about them when you've thrown in the towel, or you're at your wit's end with trying to come to a common ground. Although you've built that bridge, you've extended an olive branch over and over and over again, the narcissist will never paint you into their plans. They will only paint their projections on the canvas of you. So, another one is, I need you. So that's a red flag. That is clearly a sign that, you know, a healthy relationship is going to be something with reciprocation. It's going to give you energy, not take it away constantly. Another thing I find when you're around narcissists and there's a narcissistic tether or umbilical cord where they've used fish hooks to maintain and establish that connection or that dominance over you and control. They will always, when you find a little bit of independence, will try to squash it. They'll try to gaslight. And, I hate trending terms like love bomb and gaslighting because it's like so overused and not properly represented, in my opinion. But yeah, it's like they constantly will try to spin the blame. And that's usually followed by a calm conversation of them wanting to take accountability. Like, hey, I have credible feelings. And I just wanted to say that wasn't cool. This is how that made me feel. They will instantly turn it around and make it about themselves. Everything with a narcissist is a delicate negotiation with morals, values, and they will often try to get you to compromise those. And so, what I've found is that responding and not reacting to the things they studied within you to trigger you makes a narcissist go crazy. They will try any and every tactic to reestablish dominance, reestablish control. And how you stay out of that crossfire is, in my opinion, cutting off the energy cord completely. How do you do that? One would ask. Salt baths, grounding, being in your own energetic space, finding the things that you're passionate about and love to do, finding self care and alone time that really recharges you, fills back your cup up. I also got the cards moving in silence also. Whew. Makes the narcissist see red. Yeah, they'll try and tug on that tether again and again. Once they feel you moving on, once they feel you gain independence, they want to tear it down. And removing access to them after they've burned that bridge is the antidote. All right, so let's pull some more cards. I feel like the collective is having some questions about who, maybe in their life could be an actual narcissist. So let's see. Can you give us some clues, Spirit, as to a narcissistic relationship that maybe is in a blind spot of our collective? Someone that doesn't let you be true to yourself. Someone you have to dim your light for. It says number 17. Just being yourself sounds easy, right? Wrong. In work and business, it can be difficult to identify what you need or want all over the noise of others' opinions and comments. You will, of course, need to compromise at times, but know that you are making compromises and chart the impacts of these situations, both positive and negative. You might pick up a new technique from the experience to add to your repertoire, and if not, you have learned not to make that mistake again. The truer you are to yourself, the more connected you are to your work, the more positive you will be, and the more original and unique your work will be. Yeah, I 100% concur. What's another characteristic to look out for? Visualizing success. So this is the download I'm getting with this card is someone that can't paint you into their plans. It's all about their way or the highway. And there's no room for you in their life. This card says visualize techniques, visualization techniques have been used for centuries to enable hyperfocus on things that are as yet intangible, such as success. The ability to mentally picture a future event, getting that job, winning that award, the bonus paycheck, is a well-developed, scientifically backed method of performance improvement. By imagining an event happening, you trick the neurons in your brain into equating that image with real life activity. If you struggle with conjuring mental images, then use drawing, collaging, Photoshop, or whatever means you have at your disposal. Gosh, I can't talk today. Sorry, apologies. In the book, Don't Get a Job, Make a Job, architect Jimenez La tells how he writes future CVs for himself, describing the career he hopes and imagines he will have. You are the architect of your own future success, so build it big. Another download I got. You'll find grandiose thoughts in a narcissist. And, for me personally, nothing is too small to visualize. And I stay steady the course. It's slow and steady. As long as I have that clairvoyant image in my mind, I'm always striving for that. You know, and visualization is super impactful with me. Some people may be feeling an emotion once that goal is attained. That works too for empaths. Clairaudient people, speaking it out loud so your ears hear it and digest it in a resonance that becomes your frequency, right? But when you're with someone that does absolutely nothing towards that shared goal in your relationship and doesn't play by the same value and rule books that you abide by, then you need to reconvene. You need to have a new conversation with yourself. Does this person fit into my life genuinely? Are they genuine? Are they supporting me and being a cheerleader like I am to them? Are they just as excited for my achievements as they are for themselves? And usually that's a common one is I find a narcissist will want you to support their achievements, but the second something happens with you, it's a competition. It is a tug of war, an ego, and they'll find some type of blame game to get mad at you, to concoct, to get angry, and to dismiss or to just disappear altogether. And another thing I find is that they disappear out of nowhere when it's time to take accountability. And yeah, cowardice for sure. A narcissist will always be a coward. They will try to escape in any way through defense mechanisms, through projection, through all kinds of tactics to justify their poor behavior and not take accountability. It's all to not take accountability of their shadow, of the things that they need to heal. And so I pulled a few more cards as well with initials if you need to, get some confirmation. So the first one letter is S. This could be a first name or a last name. Number 19. The letter B, number 2. R, number 18. And D. No, I guess it's P, 16. Maybe D as well. So yeah. The remedy is to completely let go. Trust in yourself. Do it scared, but do it with an open heart. Take that leap off the cliff. Know that God will catch you. If you make a decision that is in your best interest and in self-empowerment, anything I've noticed in my life where I was terrified to keep going, but just did it anyway, always got me to the next level. It was a glow up. And although it was super difficult, I'm grateful for the lessons I learned in that chapter because it gave me the tools I needed for my new toolbox and for the new chapter. So when you find yourself brushing up against a narcissistic relationship and you find yourself being triggered often and taking on their burdens, picking up their baggage when you know it's not yours, out of maybe unworthiness in yourself or feeling like you have to pick up the pieces for them, that's just a sign that you need to pick up the pieces and rescue yourself. You are the only one worth rescuing. And some people can't come along for your glow up. It's just a sign that God was seeing everything behind your back when you weren't listening. He knew who would come on the ride with you. And he knew actually that they were unworthy. The gossipers, the people that didn't value your opinion, the people that dismissed you, devalued you. So, also sticking out on my hat, merit. Yeah, you want to seek out other merit seeking people, authenticity, hard workers that want to get it the old fashioned way, that don't want to use and abuse and step on others to get where they need to go. So let's pull a few more cards. What else does the collective need to hear today, Spirit? Be patient. Yeah. Patience is something a narcissist cannot swing, in my opinion. It's like they want it now, 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 like a baby that feels entitled to everything. You know, what do you mean I'm not fabulous and I'm perfect just the way I am? Well, sure, a baby is perfect just the way they are. I think that the human is constantly seeking approval and validation because self love has been beaten out of us. And that's not to say you're not enough, but we would be dead completely if self improvement wasn't always needed. That is what evolution is. It's always learning. That's what keeps our neurological, system on point. It's an upgrade and a recharging, a rewiring that keeps us agile, that keeps us sharp. And it's a biological necessity to self-improve, in my opinion. And so, yeah, a narcissist won't exhibit that. They'll say it, but they won't do anything that backs it up, that confirms it, that you can see with your eyes. People underestimate the power of visualization, as I said earlier, but the power of symbols that are seeping into our subconscious every day. That's how demonic symbolism seeps into us through music. It's everywhere. And so if you can be discerning about what you allow visually to come into your orbit, you can also be very intentional about what you choose to be looking at and visualizing on a regular basis, and see how much it affects your manifestation abilities. See how much your frequency and your life trajectory change once you cut out those mindless ads, those mindless songs, those mindless magazines, mindless TV shows that keep you in a victim mentality, that keep you stuck as prey. So it says, number 46, we live in a world of instant gratification where you can find everything from a BMX to a boyfriend online at the click of a button. Unfortunately, this is not the case for your career. Try not to let the fact that your career and progression is taking longer than your food delivery put you off. Make use of speedy digital technologies to free up your time so that you can focus fully on developing the career you deserve. You desire to achieve your goals will get you out of bed in the morning, but being patient, you will never know that the goals may change as you get older. Good things do, as they say, take time. Time to learn, time to grow, and time to make mistakes. So in regards and in relation to a narcissist, yeah, I think they also need instant gratification, instant control. I just heard instant ramen noodles. Yeah, maybe someone needed to hear that. Maybe someone's other half is constantly demanding food on the spot. Message. And determine your own measure of value. Sometimes our wounds from childhood set up a dynamic for a narcissist to attach to in the first place. And if you heal those wounds inside of you, you're like a buttery turkey where the narcissist can't attach. You slip through their fingers. And cutting off the supply, starving the entity, the narcissistic attachment from their supply is always, always my best advice I can give in my own experience. And not going back on it. After time, has passed, and they say that, that saying, time heals all wounds. Yeah, sure. Time heals all wounds. But I would make an amendment to that and saying, like, I find closure with God. Some things are so far gone that an olive branch, a bridge, sometimes can't be rebuilt. Sometimes that's all a karmic contract in your life was. A lesson in self-worth and valuing your self-respect. I can forgive, but I'm not going to forget. And I choose to up my standards. I choose to not lower the bar anymore. I deserve that for me. And the second you do that and you make that decision for yourself, you attract a new tribe that matches that frequency. So good luck, folks out there. I know it's very dodgy these days, and it can be a lonely road sometimes, but know that you're not alone. And, we're all in this together. So find kindness in your heart for yourself. You'll get it. Love and light.